Hello YouTube, this is the Nerwin, and today I want to present to you the first of a number of videos I will do on Wraith the Oblivion by White Wolf Publishing, Gaming, whatever, for the Old World of Darkness. I will split my review of this book in a few parts. Because the first time I tried it, it was too long for YouTube to accept. So today I will talk about Wraith's characters, because the setting is very much based on concepts that are introduced when making characters, so I will be leading with that. The character creation begins like any for the Old World of Darkness. You get a certain number of attribute points and a certain number of skill points that you can distribute, just as usual. Then you get 5 background points as usual. There are a few new backgrounds that are setting specific. I won't go into detail on them, but maybe if someone asks. The first real difference in character creation begins with two concepts called fetters and passions. Fetters are objects, people or places in the world of the living. The so-called skinlands, which have a certain pull over your character. They had some meaning in life to this to your character, and he's comfortable around them or wants to watch over them. He will also have an easier time manipulating the skinlands around these fetters. You get to choose up to 7, each with a point value of 1 to 5, and you get 7 points. The other traits you get are passions. Passions are something I love very much about this system, because they force you to really spell out what your character is about, what his goals are, what he thrives to achieve. You also get 7 points, I think, to distribute. Also, each passion has a value of 1 to 5, and you spell out a sentence about what this passion is about. So, for example, it could be revenge my murder, and then you put an emotion you associate with this act. So here it could be hatred or justice, or maybe even love. Who knows? So this is important because the trait passions is important because later you regain emotional energy called pathos, which is used to fuel the arcanus, which is the race equivalent of supernatural powers that your character gets. And if you observe someone doing something described by your passions, or if you actually achieve one of your passions, or if you just witness someone living through the emotion that you associate with one of your passions, this is an opportunity for you to regain energy. This is something that fuels your character, that keeps him, I nearly said alive, but what keeps him going. The next great difference is every character has also a second character attached to it, the shadow, which is basically a more selfish, more suicidal version of the character that the player is to play. This shadow is always in the back of your head and is always talking to you, always second guessing, always giving you advice, sometimes good, sometimes bad. And each player has to select a shadow guide, another player on the table who plays his shadow. That's the hard part, because you have to open your character concept to this someone to a certain extent so that the shadow can act believable. Sorry. Or this is just another job for the storyteller, but then the discussions between the shadow and the player just take time away from the other players again. Also, this playing the shadow can really be hard work sometimes, and you might want to distribute that. The shadow also has its own powers, and it has the sole objective of taking over your body, if you will, your plasmic entity. One of its basic powers is it can give you dice. Whenever you do something, the shadow can say, "I can help you," and raise a number of fingers. The shadow guide raises the fingers to tell you what number of dice it can assist you with. If you choose to take those dice, the shadow gains energy. If it reaches temporary value of this energy called angst of 10, then it has the chance, or I think if it's higher than your willpower, then it gets a chance to take control for a short time. If it ever reaches a permanent angst score of 10, then it completely takes control and you become one of the specters. Specters are just that, wraith who are totally controlled by their shadow. They are the main villains of this system and constantly try to bring all the rest to their side, if you will, to allow either to allow the shadows of the race to take over or destroy the race outright. Yeah, so the shadow has powers that have something to do with calling forth such specters in certain situations. It can sometimes, I think, yeah, some of its powers have to do with the times he takes over, then he gets some equipment or better stats than you do, something like that. And it also has dark passions, and every time you commit an act that which comprises acts that are formulated in these dark passions, the shadow gains angst, and every time you witness the feeling that is attached to this dark passion, you also have the possibility of gaining angst. And certain aggressive arcanos, the supernatural powers you possess, also give you angst if you use them for violent means. All in all, this game has one of the most important aspects of this game is that you try to stay ahead of your shadow and don't submit to him. There is a whole book about shadow guiding, which is very, very good. There are, I think, the 10 best tactics for a shadow, and I will give you just one. It's rated number 1. Lie. Because the shadow, some of the powers of the shadow also give him knowledge beyond what the player actually would get normally. And if you tell the truths most of the time, the player might start to actually believe what you say. And that's the point where you would try and just simply lie. Go left. It's safe there. So, otherwise you start with a basic willpower of 5. You get a certain number of pathos for starting, but that is something because you only have a temporary value. This is something I wouldn't put points in. And you have corpus, which is basically the health levels. You start, if you don't take a flaw concerning this, you start with 10 permanent corpus, and you have a number of health levels equal to your temporary corpus levels. If you ever completely lose your temporary corpus levels, you lose a permanent corpus level, and you enter what is called a harrowing, but that's something I will go to later. The effect on the corpus level is if you start with 10 and you lose all your 10 temporary corpus levels, then you have 9 permanent corpus levels and can only ever get a maximum of 9 temporary corpus levels. And so you see there is a downward spiral here, because it gets easier every time to lose all your temporary points, which all reduces your corpus level again. I think for the characters, I will do a separate video about the Arcanos, because they are also setting relevant. For today I will close this video. Have a nice day, thanks for watching.